everyone. I am pretty sure that you're studying well and everything in life is going good. You have entered in, seventh grade and you're learning so much new things in that. Not you have entered, it's been a time now, but you have learned so many things with askIITian. And now I'll continue the lecture. As we were talking about blood vessels and blood in the last part, here we have to talk about heart. And all the part I'll explain by sharing video and my screen only. Okay, so here's my screen that you will be able to see. And let me put the presentation on the full screen. And just let me confirm if we can see it. Okay, better. Let's move. So first, why again on the third? Okay, so first of all, we will be just concentrating on understanding this thing up, that what we are going to learn in this part. So we will be talking about heart, its structure, how it is working, and then we'll be having a little discussion on heartbeat and pulse. Let's start. So the first thing, as I told you, that there are two circulatory systems present in our body. One is lymphatic system and one is the blood vascular system or blood circulatory system. Into that, the most important thing is heart. Heart, we used to say this is present not on the left side, but on into the center. It's just the little part, the lower part of it, which is a little toward the left. So the heart, it is a muscular organ about the size of a fist, so much small, located just behind and slightly left of the breastbone. Actually, this is the lower part of heart. Breastbone, the biological term for the breastbone is a sternum. Actually, we do have into the thorax cavity, into the chest cavity, we do have a rib cage. This rib cage is really very important because it has protective function. It is protecting lungs, it is protecting heart. So the heart, this is pumping blood through the network of arteries and veins, which makes together the cardiovascular system. Guys, wherever you see the word cardio means they're talking about heart. A branch of bio where we learn about the heart is known as cardiology. And even if you go to the doctor, you say cardiologist. Cardio, used for heart. Cardiologist. Okay. Why cardiologist? Oh God, GIST. I was like, something is wrong with the spelling. Cardio. And wherever you see the word vascular, that means something which is helping in the conduction. A fluid which is moving in it. Like in the plant also we use the term vascular. That means the conducting thing. Into the human also we use the term. Anyways, so this is protected by the rib cage, a fist-size structure, continuously working. Muscles of heart is known as cardiac muscles. These muscles, they work 24/7, just 24/7, I will say, without even getting exhausted. Just in the case of when a person is dying, that can be the situation when the heart is not working, but it's working 24/7. Okay, now talking further about the heart. This is present in the center, actually, a little toward, slightly left of the breastbone, and that too only the lower side. Anyways, now the next thing that I have to tell you is heart is helping in the pumping of blood. This is not doing any filtration or something, because heart is connected to the lungs. Like suppose this is heart. Again, I'll make the simple diagram, and these are the lungs. So basically what happened, from the heart, blood will go to the lungs through pulmonary artery for filtration. Not filtration, I mean the exchange of gases. So oxygen and carbon dioxide, this is replaced into the lungs. And after that, through the pulmonary vein, blood will come back, which is the oxygenated blood. Now, technically saying, the filtration, the purification of the blood happen in two places in our body. One is in the lungs, second is in the kidney. Where into the kidney, all the waste products are removed, but into the lungs, oxygen CO2 exchange happens. Heart is just pumping the blood. Heart will be collecting all the blood from the body, sending it to the lungs, taking oxygenated blood back from the lungs, and then sending to all over the body part. That's the brief thing. Now, we will be learning a little detail about the heart structure. I'm going to make a very simple diagram to understand the heart structure. First of all, this is a square shape that I'm going to make. Heart used to have two chambers. Actually, on upside and downside, that total make four chambers, two chamber upside and two chamber downside. Now, the two chamber upside, they are known as auricle. And the lower one, this is known as ventricle. This is known as right auricle and this is known as left auricle. This is known as right ventricle. This is known as left ventricle. While you talk about the human body, you call right to the left to the right. Reason being, I'm talking about my body. I am human. So that's my right. That's my left. Are you getting my point? So while we talk, the right that you see, this is human's right. You're talking about a human body. So that's my right, which is equivalent to this one. So that's right auricle and left auricle. This is right ventricle and left ventricle. So these are the four chambers. And all the four chambers, they are separated from each other from a cross wall. A cross wall structure is present, which we call it as the septa. Septa means something which is separating the two. So the septa which is present in the auricle, that is known as auricular septa. And the septa which is in the ventricle, that is known as ventricular septa. Now guys, septa which is present in between right auricle and right ventricle, this is known as tricuspid wall. This is also a septa, but we have named it. And the one which is present in between right auricle and right ventricle, this is known as bicuspid wall. Wall means something which is controlling the flow. I repeat myself, this is a heart structure which has four chambers in it, two auricle and two ventricles. And all of these four chambers, they are separated from each other by the help of cross wall that we call it as the septa. And the septa which is present in between right auricle and right ventricle, this is the tricuspid wall. And the one septa which is present in left and auricle and left ventricle is bicuspid wall. Tri means three, cuspid means cusps. That three cusp-like structure are present like this, opening, closing, and bicuspid, these are two. I don't have third hand. So you imagine three things. Cusps kind of. So these are the tricuspid and these bicuspid. These makes the wall. Wall is the one that maintains the flow. It keeps the flow unidirectional. So that blood doesn't move back. It is moving up, they close. It's moving up, they close. So they are making the unidirectional flow of blood. Are you getting my point? Now the next thing. As I was telling you that heart, this is connected with the lungs for the filtration thing. First of all, how heart is collecting all the blood from the body. Let me change the pen color. Hold on. So first of all, heart will be collecting blood throughout the body with the help of a structure which we call it as the vena cava. Like there are so many veins present in the body, so many veins. These veins together, they form the vena cava. A group of vein is vena cava. So this is a superior vena cava. And this is an inferior vena cava. Are you getting my point? I have explained you this in the last part, what is a vein, which has deoxygenated blood. So a lot of vein together, they form the vena cava. So there are two vena cavas, superior and inferior. Superior is collecting blood from upper part, inferior is collecting blood from lower part, and they are collecting all the deoxygenated blood and give it to the heart. They both open up into the right auricle. This is coming from the back side and it will open only. So into the right auricle, they are going to open up. Okay. Now one thing. Now this is vena cava. Next thing. I have told you that pulmonary vein is going into the lungs. You remember from the heart? So there, pulmonary artery. So this is the lung. This is in contact with the heart, I have told you. So this is pulmonary artery through which all the blood is going into the lungs, and then it is coming back also after filtration, and that come back with the help of pulmonary vein, right? This happen into the left auricle. From the left auricle, blood is going into the lungs, the deoxygenated blood with the help of pulmonary artery. After filtration, it come back with the help of pulmonary vein, but that is present in the right auricle. Is that clear? You have to learn the location. Now, third thing, I told you that from the heart, blood is moving to all of the body part. After the oxygenated blood has come back from the lungs, it has to go to all the body parts. It will go from the left ventricle. Let me change the pen color. Huh? Don't worry, you can re-listen to this video, but that's very easy to understand. So now there is a lot of blood in the left ventricle. Here opening is present. From here, blood will be moving to all of the body part. This is known as aorta. It is further going to form arteries, which has all the oxygenated blood. A group of artery form the aorta, and that is coming from the right ventricle. I will repeat everything, don't worry. So now I am going to explain you mechanism how heart is working. Okay? Hold on. I need another pen color. Now, bacha, what happened? All the blood from the body, from the superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, come into the right auricle. And then into the right auricle, blood pressure increases because a lot of blood is there. So then this tricuspid valve will open. And all the blood come into the right ventricle. One thing I would like to modify, that from the right ventricle, a lot of blood is there. From here, the blood is going into the lungs through pulmonary artery. The opening of pulmonary artery, if I told you this earlier, this is not in the left auricle, but into the right ventricle. Are you getting my point? So there will be a lot of blood pressure, and here right ventricle, from right ventricle, blood will go into the lungs for purification through pulmonary artery. If I told you this earlier, the opening of pulmonary artery is there. No, that's not there. I just made it simplified how it is, heart is connected here. Anyways, now what happened? After filtration into the lungs, blood will come back into the, now it will come into this part, the left auricle. After that, oxygenated blood will come back into the left auricle through pulmonary vein. And again, there will be a lot of blood pressure and the bicuspid valve will open. And all the blood will be there into the left ventricle. And then from the left ventricle, the valve which is present on the aorta, that open. And all blood go into the body. Are you getting my point? I will repeat it here again. I'll make another diagram for you. Let me just, add one more slide. I know you might be getting confused a little. I imagine that, but that's fine. I'll add new slide and explain everything to you again. If you see my screen here, guys, I repeat myself. There are 4 chambers present in heart. The above one is known as auricle and lower one is known as ventricle. This is right auricle, this is right ventricle, this is left auricle, this is left ventricle. First of all the blood from the vena cava open up into the right auricle, superior and inferior. Then blood pressure increases in it. And because blood pressure increases here, tricuspid valve which is present, it opens. And then all blood will come into the right ventricle. Now then there, a lot of blood will be there into the right ventricle. So from there, blood is going into the lungs through pulmonary artery. All the blood will go into the lungs from the right ventricle through pulmonary artery to the lungs. Now, filtration into the lungs has happened. Exchange of gases of oxygen and CO2 has happened, and all blood will come back with the help of pulmonary vein. From the lungs, it is only coming, but then it come back into the left auricle. Then there will be a lot of blood in the left auricle, and then bicuspid valve gate open. And all blood is there in the left ventricle. And now into the left ventricle, aorta is present. This aorta gate open, aorta valve open, and all blood through the ventricle, left ventricle, go into the body because it is oxygenated. That's how it happens. Are you getting my point? Now listen to me again, pause the video, move back, but that's really very easy. Just one thing I told you that this is the pulmonary artery opening up there. No, that's not there. That's in the ventricle. I repeat myself. Do not make that mistake. I just told you that is connected and that's it. Okay. I take my words back. If you feel like I did not say anything wrong, just continue. Okay. So now that's a diagram of heart. This is right atrium. This is right ventricle. This is left atrium. This is left ventricle. This one is tricuspid wall. And this one, this is bicuspid wall. Blue indicate deoxygenated blood and red indicate oxygenated. Blue is a little impure kind of and red is like pure. Okay. So now this is superior and inferior vena cava. Like you see, the inferior vena cava is coming from the backside. They are collecting the blood and both of them open up into the right atrium. And when all blood come into the right ventricle, from here it is going to go into the, this is pulmonary artery, no? This is going into the lungs through pulmonary artery. And after filtration through pulmonary vein, it will come back. Pulmonary vein is showing red color because it has oxygenated blood. It will open it into the left atrium, then through the left ventricle, and from here, aorta. Okay, so they have not shown opening of aorta, but actually opening, this is aorta. And opening is here. So from there, aorta opening will be there and all the blood is going into the body through arteries. Aorta will further be making arteries, and that is all about structure and function of heart. I suppose that is clear to you. Now, if you have any doubt, you can ask your teacher and you can put it in the discussion board in your account. Now, let's move further. I was talking about all the valve. So that is a picture showing the wall. This is a tricuspid wall. This is a bicuspid. Mitral wall is another name of bicuspid wall. I did not tell you. I thought you might get confused, but that's another name of bicuspid wall. This is the aortic wall. The one aorta which was, flowing blood into the aorta, the one. And this is pulmonary wall. This is connected to this one, which is going toward the lungs, pulmonary artery wall. So these are all the valve. If a question come in your paper, name the valve of heart. So these are the one. Now you know a lot about the heart. The next thing that you have to understand is heartbeat. But before that, I have a video to show you the flow of blood. Give me a second. Let me show you the video. Okay, I will not speak in the video because you will be listening to the man who is speaking in the video.
The normal heart has two sides, a right side and a left side, and four chambers, the top receiving chambers, or atrium, and the lower chambers, which are thick-walled pumping chambers, called the ventricles. Red blood cell will come from either the superior vena cava or the inferior vena cava and enter into the right atrium. The blood then flows across the tricuspid valve to the right ventricle. The right ventricle then squeezes and ejects that blood cell into a vessel called the pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery splits into two vessels, each going to the lungs. As that red blood cell makes its way through the lung, it returns through the pulmonary veins to the left atrium. That blood is now oxygenated. It's picked up oxygen, then goes across the mitral valve into the left ventricle, which does most of the work in terms of delivery of blood flow to the body. That blood cell is now ejected into the aorta to some organ or muscle or skin in the human body.
So I suppose now you understand it up. Hold on for a second. Let me come back to the presentation. Now I suppose that you clearly understood about structure of heart and how it is working, right? Okay. So now let's move forward and let's talk about the heartbeat. Heartbeat is the sequence through which heart is beating. You know what? A mechanism is there in the heart, which is actually a little of electricity is produced inside it. And they are helping in beating of heart. And that is the one which is controlling the contraction and relaxation and the pumping of heart. A normal resting heart rate of, that ranges from 60 to 100. On an average, we call it as 72. You can now also see what's your heartbeat per minute. Generally, a lower heart rate at rest imply more efficient heart function and better cardiovascular fitness. A lower heart rate means not 50, not 40, but 72 or 70 or 68, something like that. But for example, a well-trained athlete might have a normal heart rate closer to 40 beats per minute. Now, as they have written in this thing that 40 beats per minute is very well fine, but it should not be very much low. I will say, even if they have written, I will say 40 is still very less. If it is nearby 50 or 60, then it is fine, but not by 40. So you can say the 51 is good, because when heart is pumping, it means it's requiring less oxygen, because the rate of heartbeat indicates that more oxygen is required. Like suppose you're doing a lot of physical exercise, you're running, and after that you're like that thing. The reason being, your heart is beating really very fast because you are exhausted, your body needs oxygen. And in our body, red blood cells help in transportation of oxygen, and that's why heart is pumping very fast, because it has to transport more of the blood to the body part, because more of the blood, then more of oxygen will be moving in the RBCs along with the hemoglobin. That's the reason. So if a heartbeat is a little normal and a little less, that's really fine, because your body is working nicely and it is not requiring too much of oxygen. It means that your body is at rest. Are you getting my point? Now you can just see your heartbeat. Now, heartbeat is actually connected to one more thing. We call it as the pulse rate. I'll come to that first, but see this thing. This thing is actually known as, if you see this machine also, this is a machine which is known as ECG, electrocardiogram. In your family also, at certain place, a person they must have gone through it. Electrocardiogram. This is a machine which actually calculate heartbeat. Heartbeat is directly related to auricles and ventricular movement, because a little electricity conduction is happening into them. That's why they are showing their activity, and this thing is being calculated by this machine. And heartbeat is always in this design. This is what a heartbeat is. This graphical form is a photo picture of it, but this machine is actually calculating the heartbeat. You see? This is a normal heartbeat. Now into the heartbeat, this thing, the one that I've draw, they indicated with certain PQRST complexes. This thing, it is related to activation of atria, as in from where, when the electrical impulse or electrical conduction starts into the QRS, when it is being, moving up into the ventricle part, and T wave is the one when everything is getting relaxed. So when information started to pass through the auricle and then ventricle and then relax. So this is what PQRS. So heartbeat is, a normal heartbeat is like this, and then a fast heartbeat will be very, very fast. Reason being, this thing that is happening very fast. Slow heartbeat, this thing is happening a little slow. And irregular heartbeats, irregular means any kind of heart condition is there. There are many people who are heart patient, they have heart attack. You must have heard about it. They calculate ECG, because a normal ECG look like this, but if there are certain variations, this is little change, then there is a problem. Is that clear now? Okay. So the next thing is pulse rate. So pulse is rate at which your heart is beating. In a minute, how many beats happen. So your pulse is usually called your heart rate, which is the number of times your heart is beating per minute, but the rhythm and strength of heartbeat can also be measured, whether the blood vessel hard or soft. So while you touch it up, you see the beating of the veins up there, and then you will be able to see that up, that what is the pulse rate. So guys, the pulse rate is 72 on an average, but I suppose now this thing is really very clear to you. Now we will be practicing some questions, but before that, I'm going to make a quick revision, because I think you need a revision on that. So I will directly start it from the heart. Basic information not required, but this thing, that it is having two auricle and two ventricle. Inferior vena cava and superior vena cava is collecting blood into the right auricle, and from there it is going into the right ventricle, and from the right ventricle blood go into the lungs for oxygenation, where exchange of gases happen. It come back with the help of pulmonary vein, and then there is a pressure increased, bicuspid valve open, and all the blood is in the left ventricle, and then aorta valve open, and through the aorta it will further be making branches, arteries, and it will be distributed to all of the body parts. Okay, that's the diagram. Now, guys, moving further, we have certain MCQs, but heartbeat, I have told you, this is ECG calculation, and this is pulse rate that we have discussed, and that's it. Now let's practice some of the MCQs. The muscular tube through which stored urine is passed out of the body is urethra. Why I have added this question up there? I'm moving further. The absorption of nutrient and exchange of respiratory gases between blood and tissue take place in capillaries. We have learned that in blood vessels. Now I have added blank slide into that because I thought I will be putting certain questions. Suppose if a question come, name the valve present in heart. What will be the answer? Yeah, pulmonary valve, aortic valve, bicuspid valve, tricuspid valve. Very good. Next. Okay, pulmonary artery consists of oxygenated blood or deoxygenated blood. All the arteries have oxygenated blood except pulmonary artery, which used to have the deoxygenated blood. And this is the one that is moving toward lungs for exchange of gases. What is another name of bicuspid valve? Bicuspid valve, this is also known as mitral valve. Now let me think about more questions. Bicuspid, tricuspid, pulmonary. Okay. A group of vein is known as, a lot of veins together moving into the heart is known as vena cava. Now next one. Atria will be making branches. What is the name of that branch? Arteries. Okay, so guys, this is thing, and now let me think about so what is average heartbeat? Average heartbeat. So that is 72, of course. So lower, not very much low, it should be, I repeat myself. Now, guys, with this, we are done with an information. I'm going to stop the screen share, and we are done with almost of the information on heart and related information to it. Ignore if you hear any background sound. But then, thank you so much for understanding and learning this up. You can review back and move back and see the video again. If you have any doubt, you know what you have to do. Just post it in the discussion board in your account. I'll see you in the next part. Till then, ciao.